back. That's 23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And today I'm gonna do my top 5 overbuilt or slash hard use knives in my collection. And let's get started. The first one, I'd say probably the least hard use out of the bunch, and that is the Something Obscene Company J-Cape. It's definitely an overbuilt knife. You got huge thick slabs of titanium, tight tolerances, thick blade stock. You could probably do a good bit with this M390 steel. I want to say only reason I say not as hard use as the other ones is mainly because it's very thin behind the edge. It's got a very thin edge. Now you do have a thicker tip that you could do, some prying with, some light prying if you wanted to, but this is number 1 on that list, the Something Obscene Company J-Cape. Alrighty, the next one from Benchmade, and that is the Benchmade Superfreak. This is, whenever I looked at it at first, I was like, nah, I wouldn't really consider it, but no, this is a hard use knife. You got M4 steel, which is super tough. It's not really thick, but M4 is a tool steel, so it can handle some impact. And the axis lock is a strong lock in itself, and you got thick G10, so it's not going to be something that you'd want to baton with all the time, even though you could do it, but definitely could get you through a lot of tough tasks, I can say. That is number 2. All right, starting to get a little bit stronger here. Next one, the Spyderco Shaman. Now this is a sprint run in S90V, but the regular S30V would be just the same. You got that thick blade stock. Let's see, it's thicker. Is it thicker than the? It's about the same stock thickness, probably a little bit thicker than the J-Cape, but it keeps that thickness almost all the way to the end, and you got a nice robust tip right there. You got the strong, the compression lock, beefy handles, and then you also have inset liners in there to add some rigidity. Nice one, definitely could handle some heavier duty tasks. Now these are the knives, like, if I'm doing something around the house that, I could possibly have to pry with, or just something that, any of my other knives, I wouldn't want to put them through it. These are the ones I carry. Now the next 2 get carried a lot for these purposes, just because they're my favorite out of the group. And they were definitely, in my opinion, the hardest users out of the group. And that is the Microtech Socom Elite. This is just a very well-made knife, well thought out. You have very, very stout blade stock. You have a pretty stout tip. Maybe some light. Definitely, you could do some prying with it. You wouldn't want to go crazy with it. M390 steel. You have your external stop pins. Like Nero knives always talk about the external stop pins. That's for if you're prying, that force you could put when you're prying, that's going to keep it stable instead of causing it to snap. You have this premium aluminum. I think it's a 6061 aircraft aluminum. Very, very, very strong stuff. You have a inset liner lock in there. Very, very durable. Now this thing, I think the craziest thing about this knife is this guy rides on bearings, super smooth. But I cannot muster any, of course, no side to side play, because those stop pins are going to keep you from that. But I mean, you can't muscle anything out of this guy. I would definitely feel comfortable using this guy, probably the hardest out of all of them. Would not fear. It's decently comfortable in hand. It's not the most comfortable, but I definitely have some that are way worse than this. The only thing I don't love about this, whenever I'm like putting a lot of force down, if I have my thumb up like this thinner spot on the spine is not the most comfortable for me. But you know, my hands aren't like most, so, but a lot of times I'm gripping in a hammer grip like that, and it's just fine. I got a lot of control. Just a well-made, nice knife. And lastly is my Strider SNG. Now this is probably the one that goes in the pocket the most. It's pretty close. This one gets beat out mainly because this one has a better heat treat. The SNG has a better heat treat than this guy, at least on mine. It took 3 sharpenings before I even came close to good steel, and it's still getting microchips here and there, so I probably needed to send this guy in for warranty work. But this guy right here, it's a joy to use. It's got a Peters heat treatment on it. I love the toothy edge that Strider puts on it. I've just been stropping it just to maintain it, and I stropped it the other day, and ooh, it's got some stick to it. Definitely got some stick. Mine completely got rid of the lock stick. Every now and again, whenever I'm putting a lot of force through there, it'll let that lock travel over a little bit. But mine, the lock stick has gone away for now, and if it does come back, I don't mind it. It hasn't ever been to where I felt like I couldn't disengage that lock. But I just enjoy this knife overall out of the bunch. I know it's a hard one to get, but you really can't go wrong with any of the choices. This one's probably the easiest now. The Benchmade is the easiest one to get. This is a great knife. You know, if you need a good work knife, this is a good one that's easier to find. If you want something smaller than the Socom, I would go, you know, with one of these two right here. The Shaman, excellent knife. It's a little bit slippery in hand for me. I don't know how the G10 version of it is. This is the carbon fiber version. You know, if you want one that's got more grip and the steel is better than the S30V version, this would be a great worker. If I had to choose any of these for somebody else as a recommendation of which one to use as a heavy duty work knife or something like that, I'd say go with the Freek. You know, it's in that sub $200 range. M4 steel is coated, so it's not gonna rust on you. Very solid. Your axis lock's a good quality lock. You can't really go wrong. I mean, you can't go wrong with pretty much any of them. They're all great knives. The Socom's very well built. Microtech does a great job on their fit and finish. The Shaman, another just beefy tank knife. So those are my top 5. Let me know down in the comment section what are your favorite hard use or, you know, work style knives that you take with you. You know, I used to carry a Rat Model 1 a lot. That one does the job. But just, this is my, you know, what's in the collection right now, and this is the ones that I choose for me at this moment. But I definitely like to hear down in the comment section what you carry as your heavy use knife or your work knife, you know, whatever you want to classify it as, it doesn't matter. And I don't care what the price tag is. I don't care if it's a $20 knife or a $1,000 knife. Let me know down in the comment section. I love all knives, cheap, expensive, in the middle, you name it. As long as they do their job, I love them. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button so I know you enjoy the video, so I can keep giving you more content like this. And I would like to say I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.